Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to finally something we've wanted to do for a very long time. We are fully going through with MetsMania this year. He's Jax. I'm JJ. You guys know that already. Jax, baseball is back. How are we feeling?
Dude, I have never been this more excited for a baseball season ever. Like the excitement level from this year, like last year, and then there's this year. I mean, it's not World Series or bust, but I'm so happy baseball to be finally back.
I'm so happy that we're a contender again. And let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into this because we have a lot to get into. But one of the main things that happened today was Paul Blackburn suffered another injury. Surprise, surprise. So this rotation takes another hit. So you've got Sean Manaea, Frankie Montas, and Paul Blackburn are all out with an injury. I do think, though, that this is still a decent rotation that could get you through the months of April and May. I'm assuming you have a different opinion. So what do you think?
I mean, like you said, like David Stern is one of the best analytical GMs, like probably one of the best GM minds in the game. But I mean, I think like look at Paul Blackburn. I mean, he's already be the back end of like the rotation, probably like a long reliever. But Griffin Canning has had an amazing outing in spring, and then I mean, look out for like Clay Holmes. I mean, he's probably been the best pitcher in all of spring. I'm sorry, like my parents walked in.
No worries.
My bad about that.
Keep
But
going.
like I said, Clay Holmes. I mean, I'm glad he's the opening day starter. I mean, it's kind of sketchy. But like, look at the past years when we had these like all.
I called this, by the way. Just want to say I called this. I said it on an episode of Across the Subway that Clay Holmes is going to be the opening day starter, and look at that.
Okay, well, I mean, you have the kick change working for him. I mean, he has amazing stuff. I think we're gonna get maybe 4-5 innings best out of him. I mean, he is turning into a starting pitcher. I mean, it's a lot of work. I'd say he's gonna have 70 to 80 pitches. I mean, but the bullpen, I keep an eye on the bullpen. I think we have a chance to have a top 5 ERA in the bullpen this year. I mean, it looks really good. I'm really excited.
I'm excited too. And I think one of the biggest things that not a lot of people are talking about is the fact that Sean Manaea is progressing very fast. I don't know if you've heard. He's already off the 13-day list. I don't know what that.
I think he's going from 90 feet now. If I'm hearing, I think he'll be back mid-April.
Yeah, he's going to be back earlier than you think. And honestly, mid-April is what, 2-3 weeks? The Mets could survive 2-3 weeks without him. Let's take a look.
I mean, who's our like 5-starter really? Like Griffin Canning. I think we might do a 6-man rotation. What I've been hearing, but I mean,
as of right now, no. As of right now, I don't think that they're going to go to a 6-man with all the injuries they've withstained. I think that it's potentially going to happen eventually, but as of right now, I just don't see it happening.
What I don't see on here is Tyler McGill, and he's our second starter. I mean, like
take it with a grain of salt.
People like call him like he might be like herpes because he's like you can gotta get rid of him, which is crazy. Like please get him off the team. Like I don't know if he gets DFA'd or what happened.
Just take it with a grain of salt and then move on from there. Also, I'm not sure if you know, but your TV has got sound on.
Oh, my bad. I'll take it off. If you didn't hear it?
Yeah, I could hear it pretty loudly, but it's okay. Anyway, let's not waste any time. I'm going to just go out and say this. I think that the Mets are taking the safety approach with Kodai Senga, which they absolutely should do. I like the idea of him throwing the 5th game of the season. I don't want him going in Houston. I think it's better if he's pitching in front of the home crowd. You don't want to rattle the dude. He's still coming off a major injury that he suffered last year. Off that, I don't even know what to say about that injury that he suffered. I mean, you want to talk about freak accidents. I mean, besides Edwin Diaz, it's probably one of the biggest freak accident injuries I've seen as a Met fan. No question about it. But my biggest thing is how is Griffin Canning and David Peterson going to hold the fort down? And honestly, David Peterson pitching the home opener, I kind of like it. I really do. I
Is
mean,
that who's scheduled to pitch in opener?
as of right now, that is who's pitching the
Because
home
I
opener.
checked who the Blue Jays have pitching. It's Max Scherzer, so that'll be an interesting
Oh
return.
yes,
Gives a salty
yes.
taste in Mets fans' mouth for the wild card game in that last series against the Braves back in 2022.
Oh, and Met fans did not forget about that, by the
Oh
way.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
I hate to interrupt, but I hate how people forget. David Peterson had an ERA in the 2.9s last year. I mean, he was the best ERA wise, the best Mets pitcher, and I know a lot of the stat nerds, and I'm a stat nerd included.
We know.
But he's a really good pitcher and he can get out of jams, and I think he's a really effective pitcher. I mean, he could be the dark horse Mets Cy Young this year. I don't even think he should be a dark horse. I think we should know, Mets fans should know how serious David Peterson is. He's a former first-round draft pick. I think we could he already had a step forward. I think he could take a step even forward, maybe even make an all-star game. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely possibilities that this turns out to be a good season for the Mets in terms of the rotation. I think that there's also a possibility that it goes very poorly for the rotation.
Oh yeah.
Both are very, very possible.
Okay, but we did say this for last year.
Exactly.
It was a dumpster fire last year. I mean, we had Luis Severino who had a 6 ERA, and look how he turned out. He's the ace of the Athletics.
And almost under 3 ERA last year.
Everyone almost had it was crazy. It was one of the best rotations.
Lightning struck completely.
He did.
But now we're doing that. Listen, am I confident that the same thing's gonna happen twice? Not to that extent. I think they'll still be good, but not to that extent.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yes, I did, because I know you very well. But the other thing I want to talk about is earlier today, a lot of moves were made. Max Kranick in. Hayden Senger in. Brett Beatty in. Now joining him on the Major League roster is Luis Angel Acuna. But now with Jeff McNeil still injured, that makes me wonder, who the hell is playing second base for this team?
I say the opening day starter has to be, I guess, Luis Angel because of the lefty-righty, because, I mean, very analytical, the lefty facing a righty. But starting every day, I hate to say it because it's only spring training, but Brett Beatty has been the best hitter in the Grapefruit League.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Stay away.
I mean, we all know the guy can hit AAA. I mean, people like to throw around he's a 4A hitter, which he is, but I think you can invest your stocks into Brett Beatty. I mean, he's worked out a lot. I mean, he gave out his number to Juan Soto. He's wearing 7, which I hated.
Disgusting.
I know. But maybe that gives him a little bit of that confidence boost because there's been great Mets players who wore the number 7, and he does have pressure on him. But look at this roster. I mean, he's gonna be hitting 8th.
Yeah.
So I mean, he can have a big breakout. I mean, I'm personally not a big fan of Jeff McNeil. He's looked terrible last year. I mean, he had a good start off to second half last year, but I've been hearing he's a locker room cancer. He plays way too much golf. I just look out for Brett Beatty. I want to hear your thoughts on this, JJ, but just look out.
Well, I'll tell you what. As much as I despise Brett Beatty now because he made me eat my words about Mark Vientos, which I'm still struggling and getting over, by the way, I also want to mention something right now. I don't like the way Luis Angel Acuna plays. And I'll be honest, when Francisco Lindor, the uncrowned captain of the Mets, is saying that you're lazy and you don't care because it's spring training, I'm sorry, but that is not a guy I want on my team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying trade the guy. I think it's just because it's spring training and that he'll show out when it matters. But it's just so frustrating that this is what it's come down to, that people are going to say stuff like that. And honestly, I really don't know how to feel about this. I think that Acuna is going to start because he's played so much more than Brett Beatty at the major league level. And I'm talking about that stint he had at the end of the season where the dude turned into Edgardo Alfonso, but was faster the way that I look at it.
300 for those games.
Seriously.
Super unexpected.
You were going to think he was going to hit a home run every game with the way he was swinging the bat. He was doing it against the Nationals. Granted, it's the Nationals. But then he was stepping up against Philly when we needed him more than ever. He came through in the biggest spots. I do think that we 100% fleeced the Texas Rangers for Max Scherzer. But it's all going to determine on whether or not this dude could play full seasons in the MLB. I think that it is definitely a possibility. And I'm going to go out and say that Acuna is going to – I would not be shocked if they rotated these guys every so often.
I mean, yeah, they need to be a platoon for sure. I mean, I like a lot of teams who platoon. There's a lot of success that comes out of it. But I would definitely prefer having Brett Beatty. I mean, Brett Beatty is more of like a – I mean, Luis Acuna sounds like a cancer already, which is not the best thing. If you're like the team captain, Lindor is calling you lazy, that's not a good thing, like you said. But I think they definitely need a platoon to start the year. I definitely see Luis Angel gets sent down once Jeff McNeil gets healthy. Around the trade deadline, we could easily see us get another second baseman like Luis Rengifo. He's on a contract year from the Angels. I'd look out for him. He batted .300 last year. There's a lot of pieces you could look at. I mean, definitely second base is a huge hole in this Mets roster. I mean, I'd say it's the only hole. I mean, our outfield's stacked. Everything apart. I mean, besides starting pitching, of course, but you get the deal.
Yeah, you get the issue. I mean, I think the biggest problem when it comes to Brett Beatty is the fact that you're dealing with a guy that just can't hit in the major leagues, and that to me is the biggest concern. But then you look at Acuna, a guy that can hit in the major leagues, but he's a cancer. That's the biggest dilemma I have with this whole situation. Is I really don't know what direction this is going to go. And that's where I start to get very concerned. And I get frustrated. And that's my biggest problem. But if he's gonna be like this, 2 words, trade him. Do you know
I agree.
Do you know how much value that dude has?
He can get us top 100 prospect.
Top 100 prospect. He'll get us any top pitcher that we want.
We really need some starting pitching.
I'll tell you what, San Diego.
An ace. Exactly. Thank you. I was about to say that.
San Diego is holding Dylan Cease hostage. If you throw in Acuna and maybe another prospect, hell, maybe even Starling Marte. Well, actually not Marte. They don't want to cut profit. They want to cut payroll. You'll be able to get Dylan Cease, and I think that is definitely something the Mets should consider doing.
I thought you were going to say Sandy Alcantara. I'll take him or Dylan Cease.
No. The Marlins are not trading within the division.
They will. They don't care. They are the worst ran organization in the sport. Like, when we play the Marlins, I mean, I think we play them in the second series, right?
Yeah, in Miami.
Their lineup makes you want to barf. Like, look at their projected lineup.
I think that they are. Call me insane. I think they finished the worst team in baseball.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's
over the White Sox. Even over the White Sox.
I agree. They're
a team that's going to shock some people, though. And I said this on the MLB season preview that we filmed last night, or 2 nights ago, it might have been. The Sacramento Athletics.
California Athletics, Las Vegas. What is
the Athletics are going to surprise people this year.
Definitely good. Lou Severino is their ace, and they have JJ Blay at center, Brett Rooker, who's an amazing DH, and then you have Lawrence Butler, who's one of the most exciting young players to watch. I mean, it's a nice team to.
You're on the Lawrence Butler train too.
Yes, invest your stocks. I mean, his stock market's going up. You definitely want to invest.
It's funny. It's good that you mentioned that. I drafted him at pick 66. He was supposed to go 50. He was supposed to go 51. Got him at 66. Anyway. We're getting off topic here, but it's Mets fans. That's all we do is get off topic. We are the worst people to have any sort of baseball conversation with because we will get second only to Yankee fans.
Like AJ Minter said, we're the smartest New York fans.
We're the smartest New York fans, but the dumbest other fan base.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to some more serious talk, though. There's a guy that has already won me over as a Met fan. Mm-hmm. This guy has not pitched in the major leagues since 2022. With the Pittsburgh Pirates. He shows up at spring training. I'm pretty sure he didn't give up a run all in the entire Grapefruit League. I'm pretty sure he did not give up a single run in his entire Grapefruit League. I'm going to fact check right now. I'm 99% sure that he pitched. He was scoreless in his entire. Okay, to 146. Close enough.
Still really good.
If you're not buying into the Max Kranick hype, then what are you doing? Seriously, this dude is going to be one of the catalysts for this bullpen. And I mean that when I say that.
Like I said, this Mets team has a really good bullpen, and you cannot say that about other Mets teams. I mean, even last year it started off as the dumpster fire. I mean, I say the only good time I've seen a good Mets bullpen is 2022, and even that was pretty messy. I mean, like I said, Max Kranick, he grew up a Mets fan. David Wright was his favorite player growing up, and I can definitely relate. Went to games at Shea Stadium. I mean, this guy is a fan favorite. You should, like I said, I keep on saying this, but invest your stocks into Max Kranick. I mean, he definitely will probably have a sub 3 ERA. I mean, what more can you say about the guy? His slider is nasty. He has amazing stuff. Check out his Baseball Savant page. It's full of red. I'm sure it'll stay like this for the rest of the year.
It's beautiful.
What more can you say about the guy in this amazing Mets bullpen that David Stearns is building up?
It's absolutely gorgeous, and that is what was one of the biggest things that they mentioned was they really cared about this bullpen, and they are doing it beautifully. And I love what I'm seeing from Max Kranick. And it's a good thing that I bring up guys like Max Kranick and contenders because I think we need to ask the question, are this Mets team World Series contenders for the next 2-3 years? Not just this year, but the next 2-3 years. Cy Holmes coming. Yes, sir, Nick. I love it. I love it. Cy Holmes. Let's get the t-shirts ready. But yeah, go on.
All right. This year, no, because I'll get into this later, but 2 to 3 years, yes. Easily, yes. I mean, this is going to be a team like the Dodgers. You'll see every year in the playoffs. I am so confident in it. I just want to make the playoffs this year to say, hey, our foot is in the door. We're going to be here the years to come. You know, we're going to be a World Series contender. This is the franchise you want to be at. And like Juan Soto, he'd rather be here than the New York Yankees. That is insane. Just really think about that. I mean, just think about Juan Soto as a New York Met. I still can't even believe that.
I mean, I had a feeling that Juan Soto was going to be a Met. I just thought we were going to have to trade for Juan Soto and give up every prospect under the goddamn sun like the Padres did.
I mean, good things to happen for those who wait. And look at the Padres now; they're selling everything. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year.
I mean, that roster is still but that roster is still really, really
good. They have good pitching. I mean, why not? I mean, why not try one more year? But the NL is pretty stacked. But I don't think this year there'll be a World Series. I mean, anything can happen. Baseball is a long, 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 long season. But I mean, you have a team like the Phillies. It's their last chance to shine. All of their players in the prime are getting to their mid-30s.
Hold on. I'm going to cut you off for a second. Because I've been getting screamed at by Phillies fans for the past hour. They're trying to tell me that Alec Boehm is a top 5 third baseman in the league.
Have you seen that guy's defense? I just saw a stat. Since 2017, Alec Boehm didn't debut until 2020. He is second in negative DRS since 2017. That is horrendous. Please get this guy to DH. He's not even that good of a hitter either. You saw fans complaining about him.
Exactly. They wanted him traded.
Exactly. They wanted Alex Bregman. They wanted to sign Alex Bregman.
Exactly. We don't listen. Us Met fans might be dumb in the head, but we don't forget things.
We don't.
And even worse, they're trying to say he's 10 spots better than Mark Vientos.
Mark Vientos is a superstar.
Out of here.
He's going to be a superstar this year.
He is a superstar. But speaking of superstars, I just want to point something out on this graphic before we get into the actual team. Are you not entertained by Juan Soto's bat? I mean, seriously.
I really wish he could use that. Can he use that in the regular season?
I hope so.
I saw like the
my God.
What is it like? Bobby Witt and like Fernando Tatis with that like bat thing, the crown bat.
That mask is gorgeous. That mask is gorgeous. Yeah, it's awesome. But anyway, the way I look at this team...
sorry to interrupt. Little League World Series, we have a game there. I'm sure he can use that there. Remember? We played the Little League Classic against the Commanders in August.
Right.
He might use it against that. Sorry for interrupting, but you can go
Hopefully, it's my first opportunity at the big time, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I get picked, and if I don't, then it is what it is. I'll be watching no matter what. Hopefully, I'm calling the game, though. Shout out to Bruce Beck. Anyway, before we fucking sidetrack once again, the way that I look at this Met team, and by the way, they try to say that our 1 through 9 is the third best in the division. Like, how much cocaine are you doing after Super Bowl 59?
The Braves are pretty bad. Like, look at the Braves. The Braves are not that good. Like, they have a good team. Like, I think they might win the East.
They will. I have the Braves at 98, but we'll get into record predictions later. All right, so I did this segment earlier, and I answered all these questions. I want to get your opinions on this. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you're just going to answer them with who you think is going to be the best in this particular category.
All right.
So first and foremost, your record for the Mets.
You want me to go like highest to lowest, like my expectation, like the like what
Just,
do you
just
want me
what you think
overall?
just what you think the record's going to be.
I mean, I'll go with 90 wins. I think that's respectable. I think they
No,
could. I have the top. I have 97. The lowest, I got like 84 to 85. But I think 90 wins.
I got him at 95, but that's just me. The MVP of the team. There's three options.
I mean, the Mets have a tendency to have like this big superstar have a big slump in their first year. I mean, Carlos Beltran did it. Francisco Lindor. Do I think Juan Soto's going to do it? No. That's why he's going to be the MVP of this team. He's going to hit 40 home runs, 110 RBIs, bats 300. I mean, it's got to be top 2 in MVP.
Now you sound like me. It's about time I did something right. Moving on. The best pitcher on the team. Who do you got?
I mean, let's see how Sean Manaea's health is, but I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid and go with Cy Holmes.
Cy Holmes. Let's ride.
I'm so confident. He's going to have a Seth Lugo type season, Michael King. I mean, he's going to have.
I am so ready for
top 10 in Cy Young voting. I'm calling it now. Play Holmes. Top 10
all right,
in Cy Young.
let the record show it's on air. And if you're wrong, the Yankee fans can light you the fuck up. By the way, I'm prepared for either a 1-2-3 inning or Jose Altuve to hit a leadoff bomb off Clay Holmes.
Yeah, either that or like Isaac Paredes. Isaac Paredes is an insane pull hitter, and he's got that like short. I forgot what they call that left field corner. Crawford box. Oh my god, he might hit 40 home runs. His OPS is gonna be 1,000.
By the way, I just want to shout out my pops real quick, who is as of right now is in Houston, Texas.
He's going to the game.
He's going to the game tomorrow. The bad news is he has not seen them win a game in person in like 3 years. He is the jinx of jinxes. But if they get it done tomorrow, then I will stop talking about his god awful record.
I will blame him if we don't win tomorrow.
I'm blaming him 100%.
The Mets are the best team on opening day.
I told him because my brother's birthday is around the White Sox series. I'm like, take my brother to the White Sox series. And if you lose that, then you're cooked because that'll be the only game.
Easy sweep.
That will be the only game the Mets lose to the White Sox all season long. Regardless, okay. The biggest surprise.
That's a good. I have to really think about this one. I mean, I don't want to say like Mark Vientos we already know of. I really would like to say this, but he's been hurt. Francisco Alvarez, he needs to take that big step forward again. Biggest surprise.
You want to hear my answer?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I said Max Kranick.
That's a good answer. I mean, he could be an all-star. I mean, he could have like.
All right. Okay. All-star is a little bit.
He could be. I mean, his stuff is amazing. I think we have like maybe 2 relief pitchers on the Mets. Like, he could take over that closer role. I don't think Diaz will be that good this year. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I think he's gonna fall off.
So then we've got comeback player of the year.
Okay, then I'll put Francisco Alvarez there. I think Francisco Alvarez needs a big year. I mean, he struggled a lot, especially in the postseason. I thought he was an easy out.
When Alvarez gets going, this lineup is deadly. When Alvarez gets going, I'm gonna say I said Alonso because I think he's gonna effing mash this season. Because last year he was the worst season of his career.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so what I think will happen last year, I mean, it was the contract talks. He had so much pressure under himself. I'm sure this guy has a lot of anxiety.
He thought he was Aaron Judge.
He's probably like too hard on himself, and I get that. But look who he's hitting in front of. He's hitting in front of Francisco Lindor, the runner-up MVP, Juan Soto, the best free agent, the highest-paid sports player in history, Mark Vientos, who's maybe a top 5 third baseman, and you have Pete Alonso, who hit 50 home runs in his rookie year. I'm sure he can hit over 40 this year, and if not, hey, I mean, we could get Vladdy next year. And Ryan Clifford is still pretty good. So
I want Mark Vientos hitting second, and we'll talk about that in a moment.
Ooh,
All-star, biggest regression. This one's tough. The biggest regression. Who's having a down year?
I still think he's good, but I think Mark Vientos will. I think he'll regress. Baseball savant, and then Fangraphs, like his walk ratio to strikeout, doesn't like him very much. All the stat nerds think he's not even a top 10 third baseman. I think otherwise, maybe because Mets fan bias. I don't think he'll get the 30 home runs. I think he'll get over 20, but I just watched that average dip a little bit. He struggled in early September. I mean, what do you think? You think that's negative of me to say?
No, I don't think it's negative. I think he's definitely due for. He's either gonna have a great year or a terrible year. I have it being David Peterson because
Oh, yeah.
that it's only because of the wins-loss record. I don't think he's gonna have that good of a season again. I think he'll be good, but I don't know if he's gonna be best pitcher on the team again. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's happening. All right, the home run leader. Who and how many?
I mean, it's either between two. You could go with the polar bear. He's the power hitter, and you could want to do it 41 bombs. He had more than Pete last year. But since he's hitting fourth and he has so many guys hitting in front of him, he's going to get more pitches to hit. I got Pete Alonso, and Pete Alonso's going to hit 47 dingers.
I am at 45. So you're
Ooh.
telling me that this guy was originally advertised as the negative Mets fan has Pete Alonso hitting more home runs than the Pete Alonso fan. That's insane.
Dude, I love Pete. Pete is what got me loving the Mets. Him and DeGrom got me like in love with like the Mets. But I mean, I'm the biggest Pete hater though. Once Pete like starts being like when he sucks, you'll hear it from me. I'm the biggest Pete hater. I'm the biggest Pete lover at the same time.
Get one of each for that. You said they got you in love with the Mets. No, who got me into love with the. You know who got me into love with the Mets? R.A. Dickey and Jordani Valdespin. They got me into love with the Mets. Regardless, or again, we're sidetracking again. The All-Stars. Who do you got?
I mean, Juan Soto, obviously.
Does Lindor finally
that's what I'm about to say.
how,
especially the past 2 years, he was an MVP runner-up, and he didn't even like Gerald Paramo from the fucking. Sorry if I don't know if I'm on a cuss or anything.
You good? I've already cursed.
Is that why you put your head down, or just Gerald Paramo from the?
Gerald Perdomo. Remember when we used to talk to his brother?
Yeah.
He's fucking terrible.
But he made an all-star team over Lindor in 2023. I think Trey Turner, when he was hurt for half the midway of the season.
Yeah, how do you get that over Lindor? Like, seriously.
Maybe the fan votes. Fan votes are so stupid.
Fan votes need to be abolished, in my opinion.
It needs to be by, like, baseball writers, like, with the MVP. They would.
No, the baseball writers are just as bad.
I think they'd have Lindor. Like, give Lindor his flowers. I
don't think we have any. Yeah. He's the most likable player in baseball. Guys, all right, moving on.
Yeah.
I feel are those your all-stars, Lindor and Soto?
Give me Clay Holmes.
Wow.
That's it. That's the three.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, let me see what's left. Oh boy, this is about to be good. Your best Mets hot take. I think you already said it, to be honest with you.
What, the 95 wins? What's the
Clay Holmes Cy Young?
That might be my biggest hot take, but I do have this feeling. I know I said 90 wins. I have a tiny feeling. I'm super excited about this year. They could miss the playoffs. They could. That's my biggest hot take. I don't fully believe it, but that's my hot take, that they could miss the playoffs.
And this is why we created this show.
I don't know. It scares me. The Padres are still good. The Diamondbacks gotten better.
Your Frankisms are coming out at the worst time possible.
I mean, the Cubs, the Reds, the Brewers, like.
By the way, can we just say for the record that after last year we are officially dumping Frank the Tank as a Mets fan? Can we both agree on that?
Well, he said he's not going to be negative anymore.
Bullshit.
I guarantee he'll be negative if we lose this series against the Astros. Like, that's it.
1 week.
Season over. Like, he's
1
going to start
week.
freaking out.
Yeah, can we just both agree, even though you're the Frank guy, I'm the Frank hater, can we just agree to drop him?
I mean, I can agree, yeah.
Listen, Giraffe Neck Mark, you're also on thin ice because your takes are just outrageous.
Yeah, I watched
He's on thin ice too.
Yeah, he's like, that's why people hate Mets fans. People hate Mets fans for Frank the Tank and Giraffe Neck Mark. But you get a terrible rip.
And then they love Mets fans for people like me. Division, where are we finishing?
Obviously, we can easily finish first place. That's the high. I mean, hopefully we finish first place, but I honestly got third place. I don't think we're as good as the Braves or Phillies.
I think we're better than the Phillies. And then the playoffs.
To be honest, I got us as a NL wild card exit. Depending if we play a Central team, I think we'll win. But I think I don't think we make it to the NLCS again. I think the Phillies.
Philly is not getting their get back on us.
Trust. They have a really good rotation. They have a scary rotation. Zach Wheeler's debatably the best pitcher of all baseball.
But what about that bullpen?
That bullpen is interesting, but that
11
lineup,
ERA in the playoffs. Yeah. I'm taking the Mets or the Phillies every single time.
We'll see. I mean, the Mets do own the Phillies. I mean, I will say that, but if we were to play the Phillies, I think the Mets win.
Yes, I have us losing Game 7 of the NLCS to the Dodgers.
To who?
The Dodgers.
Okay.
But if we play in the NLDS, we're on the NLDS. But that's enough about the questions about the team. Let's just take a peek at the schedule real fast. This is what we got right here. This is the full schedule. It's pretty solid, I'm not going to lie. There's a few series that I'm marking off the dome. First series I'm going to mark is that series in May against the Yankees. Juan Soto's comeback to the Bronx. Second series is the first series against Los Angeles in May. Now, if you remember, that's when when somebody decided to toss a glove into the stands, which became one of the most...
Jey Uso, yeet.
Which became one of the most infamous moments in Met history. And speaking of yeets, you could hear more about Jey Uso and all things wrestling on the SmackDown Hotel
worst wrestler
at 5 p.m.
Terrible. He sucks.
We'll talk about that later, Jack. You want to be on SmackDown Hotel next week? I got you.
I have strong opinions about Jey Uso.
I got you next week. Regardless, back to the Mets. Like Steve Cohen once said, anyway, back to the Mets. You look at this schedule, and then in June, you've got the series against Atlanta, and I always mark the Atlanta series. Will I be going to the series? I don't know. But the one that I really want to get into are these series against the Minnesota Twins. Not the Twins, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay, yeah.
We have struggled against the Brewers in the regular season in the past.
Regular season, yeah.
Playoffs, different story. Pete Alonso can attest to that.
I don't understand why we can't beat the Brewers. Like, they're not that good. They honestly aren't. Like, I'm surprised if they make the playoffs again this year.
I think they win the NL Central. But then I look further into the schedule, and I'm seeing there's a wave of games in July that really concerns me. It's Milwaukee, the Yankees, Baltimore, Kansas City. Those are 4 playoff teams. The other stretch that concerns me, the dadgum West Coast trip against San Francisco and San Diego. We struggle in San Diego. I can tell you that much right now. But then I look at September. September is not easy. Detroit, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Texas, San Diego, the Nationals, who want to play spoiler, and then the Cubs and the Marlins. So, yeah, September is pretty rough. If I had to pick the most difficult month of the season for us, it's got to be July.
Agreed. I mean, I want to mention September. Do you think maybe we could see DeGrom make his return to Citi Field?
If DeGrom does pitch at Citi Field,
do you think he gets booed? Like, what do you
think?
Fuck
no. Absolutely not.
He needs to get cheered. The shit he went through for us.
Every Mets fan needs to be on their feet. 1,000%.
They should play a simple man for him if they can.
Yes, 100%. And honestly, I don't think that this series is really going to affect the Mets at all. Like, I think that the Mets are going to... Yes, Martin, I see you. First name, last name. Scooble a Met by 2027. A man can hope. A man can hope. When we trade our entire farm system to the Tigers. So, yeah, are there any series that really concern you at all this year?
I mean, when we go to the Bronx, that'll be really interesting. I don't know how Soto will do. I hope he DHs because
May 16th, I'll be there. I'll be there May 16th, his return.
I fear that Yankees fan will try to throw bottles, or there'll be some chance. Even though he's only a Yankee for a year, they crush their soul signing with the little brother.
That's the other thing. The Yankee fans think Juan Soto. Oh, I put out. You may have seen this on my story. I posted a whole rant about this whole thing. Mm-hmm. Do you mind if I read out this rant to you? Because I know you had a lot of things to say about this rant, and I thought it may have been one of my better ones. So just make sure I can still find it. Yeah, give me a moment. I hope it's still up. Nope, it's gone. Basically, I went ahead and said, you wouldn't give this dude this much. Listen, you wanted to say that we overpaid for Soto. You offered him pretty much the same contract. JJ, come to Comerica in September. Listen, man. I don't know if I'm ever going to a game in Detroit anytime soon. I am going to see the Chicago White Sox play in Chicago, which is going to be...
You should go see a Cubs game. I'd rather try to see the Cubs.
Here's the problem. The Cubs are not in town. The White Sox are, and they're playing the Red Sox. Garrett Crochet, I think it's going to be his
Greg
return.
Crochet return game to the White Sox.
I will be at that game 100% because I'm going to be in Chicago that week. But I basically said he doesn't owe you anything. He was with you for a season. It was your fault for giving up your entire pitching staff for pitching farm for him. Don't act like he owes you anything because he doesn't. He chose family. The Yankee way is dying, but you won't cease to admit that.
Honestly, well said. Like, the huge reason he came is because of family. Like, that is crazy. Security kicked his own family out of the stadium. That is embarrassing. That's like something the Wilpon Mets would do. And now look at
Zach Wheeler being forced to buy tickets to the playoffs. Same exact thing.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, the culture. Like, is it a stretch to say the Mets culture is better than the Yankees?
It's 100% better than the Yankees.
It's a stretch because the Yankees have like a big
it's not. It's not. You want to know why? The Yankees are changing everything that made them great because they lost Soto. Beard policy, gone. Sinatra after a loss, or New York after a loss, gone.
I mean, it is interesting, like the no clean shave. I actually kind of like that rule. Like,
it's about time. It should have it a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, but I like it though. Like I think Judge won't like grow a beard just for like.
I hope Judge grows a beard. I need to.
He would look sick. He would look pretty good.
Judge would definitely have a Viking type of beard. It'd be going all the way down to here. That'd be great. I need that.
I think the Yankees though were just like lucky they played in a weak AL that like they can just make the playoffs. I'm really thinking about it. I don't think they win the East. I think the
Yankees are a fourth place team in our division.
Oh, for sure. I think the Mets are better.
100%.
With the lineup. I mean, they have like 4 washed MVP besides Judge. They have 3 washed MVPs.
Their pitching staff is obviously better when fully healthy, obviously.
Yeah, but Cole's out for the year. I mean, and Luis Hill is pretty hurt.
Cole being out for the year upsets me because we absolutely own that dude, and I wanted to see Soto go 3 for 3 against Cole with 3 bombs. That would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have for the schedule. Do you have anything to say before we close out and get ready for opening day tomorrow?
I mean, the Dodgers look out. I mean, the Mets have the second most primetime games behind the Dodgers, who are the World Series champions. I mean, this will be a very exciting year. A lot of good teams. I mean, July is going to be
We have a weird stretch at the beginning. We don't play on Friday, which is really weird.
What, this Friday? I thought we played Friday.
We don't, apparently.
We do. We have the Apple TV game.
And why is it not showing on the schedule?
I think we don't play Sunday.
We play Sunday. I'm looking right now.
No, Saturday we play Fox. Friday is the Apple TV game.
So you're telling me that I was given a wrong schedule. Great. Well, I look like an idiot.
They must have botched it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for the first episode of MetsMania. We're back for a full season. We'll be getting weekly episodes to talk about the state of the Mets and all things New York Mets baseball. As for Jax, I'm JJ signing off. We'll see you next time. Let's go.